So if you can tell from the first two clips, I am on vacation. I'm staying at my brother's right now, and I've been out doing a lot of stuff, so I haven't had a ton of time to read. I read a little bit on the beach. It's really cute. It is reminding me of a lot of classic fantasy books. I believe it came out in the 80s, and you can tell, but I am still very much enjoying it, so I'm happy I picked up this book, and I'm hopefully gonna read it some more later. Of course, being on vacation, I'm very busy every day, and so I don't read as much on vacation. You guys will have to let me know. Comment down below if you read a lot on vacation, because I see people like posting pictures of them reading and stuff on vacation, and I did read, and I still read on vacation. I just feel like people that complete an entire book while they're on vacation, I'm like, I don't understand, because this is like the one time I actually go out and do stuff. So I was just able to read another chapter. My vision was blurry all morning because I went to the eye doctor and got my eyes dilated, so they just got better. It's been a few hours, so I was finally able to read a chapter. And let me just talk about the story so far to kind of explain where I'm at. I already knew a little bit going into this, even though I've never seen Howl's Moving Castle, which I am going to try to watch it after finishing the book and talk about it a little bit in this vlog, like comparing the book to the movie. I know I'm like the only person that hasn't seen it, but I already knew some of the characters. So like Sophie is the protagonist, and she is the oldest of 3 daughters, and she kind of resigned herself to the fate that she believes the oldest daughter has, which her belief was that the youngest daughter gets all the fortune, the middle daughter, like, they're okay, and then the oldest daughter just kind of, they're not important to any story. They just get whatever. Like, she would inherit the hat shop that her family had, and she just was okay with that. That's what she expected her life to be. When her father passed away, she was told by her stepmother that she was going to get the hat shop, and that the youngest daughter was getting sent away to be an apprentice for a witch, where she would be able to meet someone wealthy and like marry someone wealthy and like have a good life that way. And then the middle sister was going to go work at a cake shop, like a sweets shop, and so she would have a decent life, like probably marry another apprentice or something like that. This book came out in the 80s, I believe. Did I already say that? She comes to find out Sophie is working in the hat shop as an apprentice until she inherits it. But she comes to find out that her 2 sisters actually used a spell to switch places to make themselves look like each other, because the middle sister really wanted to go work she wanted to learn to be a witch, and the younger sister was fine working in the sweet shops, and she's getting all these marriage proposals now. So they were happy with their fates because they made them what they wanted to be. The youngest sister, when Sophie found out, like, was telling her, we're trying to figure out how we can help you, because she kind of explained to her that the stepmother isn't this nice person that Sophie thinks she is. Like, she needs to wake up and realize that she doesn't have to resign herself to this fate. And after that, Sophie does go back to making hats, but long story short, she gets cursed by the Witch of the Waste to be an old woman, and she cannot tell anyone about her curse, and she ends up just kind of leaving the hat shop because she's like, well, I'm not going to stay here just as an old woman. No one's going to know who I am, and I'm like, there's no point. So she doesn't really know where she's going to go, but she goes off on this adventure, and she ends up at Howl's Moving Castle. And right now where I am, she just made a bargain with this fire demon. She promised to break his contract if he breaks her spell. I think she has to break his contract first, so that's where I'm at. I'm liking it a lot so far. I'm excited to read more. I don't know how much more I'm going to be able to read today, because even though my vision isn't blurry anymore, my eyes are still really tired. So I will try to read some more today, but I think I'm going to be doing the majority of my reading tomorrow. But I just kind of wanted to catch you up on where I was with the story, because I haven't said anything about it so far. I had a feeling Hal was talking to one of Sophie's sisters, but I also feel like either Michael's talking to Martha as Letty, or however you want to say that, or he's talking to Letty as Martha. Like, he's talking to the other sister, or he's talking to the same sister as Hal, and they just don't know it. I was close enough. I devoured the rest of the book. It's so cute. You should have seen me reading the ending. I was smiling at it. If you like fantasy with romance subplots, there's also like a lot of familial love in here. It's just adorable. I adored it. I love Sophie finding out she's a witch and just being like, yeah. She unfazed was like, yeah, that makes sense. Honestly, me if I found out I had magical powers, honestly. I also talked in my last reading vlog about me going through a reading slump because I loved the Shepherd King duology so much. I couldn't pick up a new book after it, and honestly, it still has quite the hold on me. This kind of solidified my belief that I've had about myself that if I'm in a reading slump, a middle grade book, because this is middle grade, I believe, just a nice, easy read, like a middle grade book is what helps me, because like if I'm still consumed by thoughts of the other book, they're not gonna really affect my reading of this book. I don't know how to really describe that. It's just that when it is an easier read, like a middle grade book, I can still be obsessed with something else, if that makes sense. That's why I really don't like when people say adults can't read middle grade. I don't care. If you're an adult and you haven't read this book, first of all, highly, highly recommend this book. But just in general, read whatever you want. But like I just said, when I'm going through a reading slump, a nice middle grade book, or sometimes if I read like a historical romance that is very little plot and mainly just smut, that will also, because that doesn't take a lot of focus to get through really. But again, highly recommend this book. It was so cute. It lived up. Like, I expected it to be good because it's so popular, but it even exceeded my expectations, mainly because I just really loved it. I loved it a lot more than I thought. Not because I thought I'd dislike it. I just thought it would be, you know, a book I really liked, but it was very, very cute. But now I am going to watch the movie. I've never seen the movie. I think I've only seen of Miyazaki films Spirited Away. I think that might be the only one I've seen. So this is going to be my second time watching a Miyazaki film, and I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong. I think I've heard it pronounced that way, but yeah, let me go watch that and then I'll come back and I'll compare the two. I also wanted to say I completely understand the post now when people are saying Howl is the blueprint. He is both powerful and pathetic, and that is what really makes a great male character. Let's be honest. Oh, and so down bad for Sophie. That's another very important quality. I also just got my new glasses prescription. I'm so overwhelmed by how well I can see things now. Like, my shelves on the other side of the room, I can actually read the book titles. It's too much. It's too much. So, I'm feeling this a little bit like a couple days after watching the movie just because I got really busy. But I really enjoyed the movie. It is just so different from the book. I mean, you know, Miyazaki films, they, like I already said, they make you feel so many different emotions. They evoke these emotions that other movies just do not. And the animation style is so, I adore that animation style, and I am just very impressed by animators in general. I do like a little bit of my life outside of YouTube and reading and stuff because I don't talk about my life much, but I do editing and special effects and stuff. So I am just, animators I think are just a whole other ballpark for me that I just really admire. And yeah, but back to the movie itself, the characterization is a lot different. The plot is changed quite a bit. Like, it has pretty much the same essence of the book, of the story of the book, but it's just like the war element is a lot different, and just Sophie's family is less significant, and Michael's a child in the movie. So in the book, I mean, he's 15, that's still a child, but he's like old enough to have romance, and he does in the book with Martha, and so that's not in the movie, which made me a little bit sad. I really liked Calcifer in the movie. He is even more of a bratty little fire demon. But when it comes to movie adaptations of books, like, it's more like, to me, I go into it as it's a movie inspired by the book, which I think this very much was. You have to look at it as it's something new. It just took inspiration from the book, but it's very different, and that's like why I can sit here and say I liked both. I'm just looking at them as two different stories. So yeah, that is my experience with Howl's Moving Castle. I'm so excited. I finally read it and watched the movie. I know I should have years ago, but I am definitely, like, that's a story that I now love and going to carry with me for a long time because it was just so cute and reminded me, again, another one of the stories that reminds me why I love fantasy. But that is it for this vlog. So if you liked it, like and subscribe. I will be doing more reading vlogs this year, as well as scripted videos. So sorry about how shaky this ending was, but my arm is tired. But, you know, it is what it is. Okay, bye!